You've checked all the boxes, the job, the family, the home, but somewhere along the way, you stopped feeling like you. If you're craving clarity, craving calm, and ready to stop performing and start becoming, you're in the right place. Hosted by me, Ellen Adams, from climbing the corporate ladder to following my dream of starting a consignment boutique to coach and sustainable living guide, the Sustainable Woman podcast is your weekly dose of soul meet system support. We talk midlife, realignment, burnout recovery, conscious living, and the real life tools that help you rewrite your story one sustainable step at a time. This is not a podcast about doing more. It's about living in a way that honors your values, your energy, and your future self. Hey, everybody, I'm Ellen, and this is the Sustainable Woman podcast, space for women who are learning to build their lives without burning out. This is the first episode. Yay! And I wanted to start with a story, and it's a story of the winter that taught me how to stop. If you've been feeling exhausted this January, like you're supposed to be beginning again, but you just don't have it in you, I made this for you. So for a long time, I believed that winter was something to push through, something inconvenient. I live in southern Vermont, and snowstorms are endless. Sometimes it feels like it's something to endure, something to survive until spring arrives. That belief shaped how I worked and how I treated my own limits for years. In 2014, winter finally just asked me to listen. That year, I moved my consignment shop, Zippy Chicks, into a new downtown space. I was 4 years into business, and it was time to expand. So I moved right into the heart of the walking traffic. The build-out had delays, stress stacked on stress. And my parents were helping me paint late into the night. My dad was doing some renovations for me before the opening day. My husband and I and some really, really dear friends and employees packed up the old location. We moved everything into the new space in a single night. And if you ever need moving tips, let me know. Opening day was a smashing success. Honestly, it was like a little too successful. I wasn't staffed properly. I had already booked this long-planned beach vacation with my husband shortly after opening the new location. I told myself everything would settle once the holidays passed. But when January arrived, I was empty, and I didn't have any language for that yet. I had always just kept going. So I went to my energy healer at the time, like I often do, to get some perspective and figure things out. We started with a check-in, and immediately I went into problem-solving mode. You know, maybe I need to change my diet. Maybe I'm depleted in this vitamin or that vitamin. Maybe it's my thyroid acting up again. I don't know what's wrong with me. Underneath all of that, there was a quieter, more uncomfortable truth that I hadn't wanted to admit. I used to secretly wish that I would get sick, like just sick enough to force me to stay into bed. Just forced to stop and given permission that I didn't know how to give myself. So she listened quietly for a few minutes, and then she asked, "You want to know what I think?" And I leaned forward, and I remember being like, "Yeah." And she looked at me deadpan and said, "I think you're fucking exhausted. Not vitamin deficient, not in need of more vegetables, not another vacation, not another new routine, just exhausted." She asked if I had staff who could run the shop if I rested for a while, and I didn't. Then she asked if I could close the shop. I'm like, "How long?" "At least 3 weeks," is what she said. I think I literally guffawed out loud. There's no way I can close my store. No. And she told me exactly what to do. She's like, "For today, just go put a sign on the door. Closed for today. Come up with a plan, email my list, explain the logistics, and go back down and make a sign. Closed for 3 weeks. Go home." And she's like, "I don't want you to get out of your pajamas for the first week. And then the next week, take a shower." And that was the moment that I understood this truth in my body. I can't run myself into the ground no matter the financial cost, because the personal cost is always greater. Winter taught me something that year. We're taught that winter is inconvenient, that slowing down is dangerous, that rest has to be earned. But nature doesn't operate that way. In winter, roots deepen, energy is actually conserved, and nothing is rushed. Winter isn't a failure of momentum, it's a phase of preparation. Yet every January, we're told the complete opposite: push harder, fix ourselves, rush toward change before we even listen. By the time January comes, most of us are already tired. They got the holidays, from the excess, from being on, and still we feel this pressure to hit the ground running. January 1st. We got to optimize, reinvent ourselves immediately. But what most people want instead is permission to rest, to integrate, and to pause before deciding what's next. Winter taught me how to stop, and in stopping, I learned how to listen. If you've been feeling winter asking you to pause this season, not as a failure, but as preparation, you're not alone. If you want to know where you are in your realignment journey, take my free Sustainable Woman self-assessment at sustainable-woman.com. It'll tell you exactly which of the 4 S's you need most right now. Thank you for listening, and I'm so glad you're here.